Falcons do, we rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reactions, the show we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and in general, the sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, the Golden Hard Doc, and a lifelong sports fan. Coming back to you today, there's not a lot of news happening right now for the Falcons. We're done with the draft. I've already gone back and given my thoughts over the Michael Penix signing. And then on the signing of the other guys that we took, the 3 defensive tackles, our inside linebacker, the wide receiver, the running back. It is what it is at this point, and we can't really make a lot of it, but we'll see what ends up happening, and then an edge rusher as well. So we can't really go back and do anything about that. We took a lot of depth pieces, but the Falcons were already, on offense at least, built to win now with Kirk Cousins. We didn't have a lot of major changes there because we've already made changes in free agency. So the Falcons are still a win now team, and they're still a team that should have a winning season and should win the NFC South. It'll be a little bit tougher, as I do think some teams in our division had an amazing draft. But again, it just really depends on how the season goes, how everything shakes out, when we play people, when our bye week is, and we should get more clarity on that hopefully this week. The NFL is always really tight-lipped on when they do the schedule, but if you follow the last few years, they've basically done it the same for about 3 or 4 years in a row now. The second full week, or the second week of May, typically on a Thursday. They've released it on a Wednesday back about 4 years ago, but they usually make an announcement a couple of days prior. So I'm anticipating an announcement either tomorrow, Tuesday the, the 7th, or the following week. So I think we'll get an answer to when the Falcons and when the rest of the NFL are playing each individual opponents. Are we going to have any Thursday night games, which is technically prime time, though it sucks? And are we going to finally, for the first time in years, have a Monday night football game? I've waited a long time. The last Monday night football game I can recall for the Falcons at home was against the Giants, and that was many years ago, and I was not able to go at the time because of where I lived and what I was currently doing in life. So I would love to have the opportunity to go and to see a Monday night football game in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I'm sure the atmosphere is absolutely electric for that. I'm planning on going to the Las Vegas Raiders game in Las Vegas whenever we find out when that is. But let's do a quick recap of the teams that we're going to be playing overall this year at home and away. It is an even year, so that means the NFC is getting 9 home games per team, where the AFC is getting 8 home games per team. So let's go real quick through our home games. Excuse me. We have, as always, our 3 in-division rivals: Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then we are also going to have an additional 6 opponents. We're playing the NFC East, and the 2 home games we get this year are the Dallas Cowboys. I do have a friend who's probably going to want to go to that one. And then we also are going to get, where else are the New York Giants. So talk about blast from the past, Monday Night Football game there from the past, but we'll play the New York Giants at home, and those both should be very good games. Dallas has been a little bit quieter. I think we have improved enough to where we could compete with Dallas. I don't know that we'll win that one, but we could be competitive with them. And then the New York Giants, it just really depends. They had a good draft for themselves, and we'll see what ends up happening. Then you come back and you have a few more games at home. We're playing the AFC West, which I've said is going to be a tougher division, and we get the 2 toughest teams, I think, post-draft in that division. We get the Kansas City Chiefs at home, and we get the LA Chargers at home. Jim Harbaugh, the guy that I still would have liked to have been the coach for Atlanta, over Raheem Morris, is going to be coming to Atlanta. This is going to be, I think, the 3rd time in 4 years that we've seen the LA Chargers, just based on the way that everything played out, where we finished in the division, cross-division rivalries, all of that good stuff. So this is going to be an opportunity, once again, to play the LA Chargers, see how we do. But they are much improved. They've got some new weapons on offense. Lad McConkey, a Georgia guy, is going to be coming back for that one. And then you have a couple of other games here with the Seattle Seahawks and Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers have a much improved offensive line. They could be one of the top 10 offensive lines in the league with all of their draft capital they put in it and all the young talent they got. Seattle Seahawks, they did not take a quarterback in the draft that could be the replacement to Geno, but it just depends. Does Geno fall off a cliff or not? Or is he, good again? You're going to have a different wide receiver room there for sure. And then, so that's our home schedule. 9 home games. We don't know when we're playing any of them. Hopefully we get a Thursday night. Hopefully we get a Monday night. We'll see. It would be nice to have a primetime game. We didn't have any last year at all. And then we go to our away opponents. And again, we play our 3 division rivals. with Carolina, New Orleans, Tampa Bay. That's no surprise. And we have 5 more to talk about. Again, going to the NFC East, we have the Washington Commies. Again, this feels like the 3rd or 4th time in as many years that we played them. Again, Jaden Daniels is going to be a very electric team. FedEx Field, it's under new management. I'm hopeful that the Josh Harris Financial Group can make some changes to that stadium, upgrade it, potentially do something to the field, hire better groundskeepers, something. I always get nervous about going there because I never know, are we going to walk away with injuries or not? And thankfully last year we didn't walk away with an injury. We were at FedEx Field last year, so we're going back, but it just depends. If you're playing there in November or December, the likelihood of injury goes way up. That's when almost all of the major injuries have happened at that field. And then you also have, from the same division, Philadelphia Eagles. It just depends. Last year, without the coordinators that took them to the Super Bowl the year prior, they fell off a cliff after having 11 wins. They fell completely off a cliff and then got knocked out of the playoffs in the first round. Is Jalen Hurts better? Do they have something fixed on the offense? Is the defense going to be stepping up? They did take the 2 best possible corners in the draft, or at least 2 some people have as the best corners. So we'll see. They could be good for years to come. So you have the Philadelphia Eagles, and then again, coming back for the AFC West, you have the Raiders, which again, I'm planning on going to that game, depending on the time of year that is, and the Denver Broncos. Neither of those are particularly easy games to go to. Denver is going to be tough depending on the time of year as well. Hopefully, we get Denver earlier in the year, because that means we're not potentially playing a snow or a cold game. And then the other team we haven't talked about yet, Minnesota Vikings. It's going to be a Kirk Cousins revenge game, if you want to call it that. It's not really. He didn't get traded. Nothing really insidious happened. He just didn't get re-signed. But you do have some narratives there with Kirk Cousins going back to Minnesota to play for a team, or play against a team that he played for the last, it feels like, maybe 5 years or so. But anyways, it's going to be interesting. We'll see when we play these guys. It's definitely going to be worth talking about once the schedule comes out. But that's all I got for you today, guys. Thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. And as always, rise up.